The British invasion of Iceland during World War II, which began on May 10, 1940, was a pivotal moment in the conflict, emerging from a mix of strategic foresight and the rapidly shifting geopolitical landscape of Europe. After Germany launched its blitzkrieg against Denmark and Norway in April 1940, the British government perceived a substantial threat from the Axis powers. The occupation of Denmark meant that German forces could potentially use it as a launching point for further operations. Iceland, owing to its strategic location in the North Atlantic, became a critical concern, as it could facilitate German U-boat operations and air raids that would disrupt Allied shipping across the Atlantic. Recognizing the need to secure Iceland, the British devised a plan that involved a swift military operation designed to take the island before German forces could do so. British military leaders calculated that control of Iceland would provide the Allies with a valuable base for monitoring German movements and protecting supply routes to North America. Before the invasion, the British government sought cooperation with the Icelandic authorities to prevent any German foothold. They proposed a defensive arrangement, offering military assistance while emphasizing England's commitment to preserving Iceland's autonomy. However, Iceland, wanting to maintain its neutrality and independence, rejected these overtures, fearing that accepting foreign troops would lead to permanent occupation. On the morning of May 10, 1940, a well-planned military operation began. The invasion force consisted primarily of approximately 746 Royal Marines from the 2nd Battalion, 5th Brigade, and various support units, led by Colonel Robert Sturgis. The British force was equipped with transport ships, landing craft, and naval support from the Royal Navy, including destroyers and cruisers, which provided firepower and logistical support. The British landed in Reykjavik, the capital, with minimal resistance. This early success was due in part to the Icelandic government's lack of preparedness and the absence of German military presence at the time. British troops quickly secured vital locations, including the airport and communication facilities, aiming to prevent any German response. The British military established control of the island, instituting a military government to ensure order and manage resources. The occupation was a contentious issue for many Icelanders, as they viewed it as a violation of their sovereignty. Protests arose against the British presence, yet some Icelanders recognized the necessity of the occupation in the face of a greater threat. The British occupation of Iceland ultimately had far-reaching implications. It reinforced Allied positions in the North Atlantic, securing essential air and naval bases for future operations. Furthermore, Iceland became a staging ground for American forces after the U.S. entered the war in 1941. In summary, the British invasion of Iceland was a complex maneuver influenced by shifting alliances, the urgency of military strategy, and the challenging diplomatic landscape of World War II. It underscored the fragility of neutrality during times of global conflict and exemplified the lengths to which nations would go to assert control over strategically vital territories.